cyclists are no more valued as litter on the roads of Arizona.
Clay Wells is one of 17 cyclists seriously injured in a crash in Goodyear 1 year ago. 2 others, Karen Melissa and David Kiro, died.
I was struck from behind. I barely survived. I was in a coma for 10 days in the hospital. I lost 5 weeks of memory.
Arizona's Family Investigates has followed Clay's recovery from his time in the hospital through physical therapy. He had to teach himself to walk again, to now, finally getting back on a bike.
I kind of set a goal for myself when I was laying in the hospital bed that I would be back on a bike before a year went by. It's important to me to regain some normalcy in my life.
Progress seems slow, but he says West Valley Cycle, the group he's long been a part of, the group he was riding with on the day of the crash, has kept him going.
They have been the most encouraging and most supportive, way beyond the way I ever thought they would be.
All of them hoping, waiting for accountability. Goodyear police initially charged the driver who hit them with 2 counts of manslaughter, 3 counts of aggravated assault, and 18 counts of endangerment. Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell dismissed them, asking investigators for more evidence. 9 months after that accident, her office scheduled a meeting with the surviving victims, their families, and their attorney, Ben Dodge.
She said she wasn't going to do it, and then she went on to explain why, and it made it worse. Like, it didn't have enough evidence. It didn't have all these things. Basically, they said, we don't think we can win, so we're not going to try.
Dodge, an avid cyclist and attorney, has spent his career representing cyclists injured and killed on Arizona roads.
There's oftentimes a cyclist will get hit by a car. The driver would have committed, 5 to 10 different traffic violations to be able to hit that cyclist, and they'll walk away without even a citation.
Data shows that in 2021, crashes killed 45 cyclists and left more than 1,000 hurt. In Maricopa County, 26 deaths, 681 injured. But how many of those cases resulted in criminal charges and prison time? The county attorney's office doesn't track that, but ArizonaBikeLaw.org collects whatever data is available. We took a closer look at 10 cases from 2021 that involved cyclists that were killed. Important to note, Mitchell was not the county attorney at the time. 4 of them were hit and runs, yet the vast majority, 9 of them, resulted in only misdemeanors or traffic citations. Only 1 case resulted in felony charges.
There's no responsibility for taking someone's life.
John Dollar knows that all too well. A drunk driver hit and killed his son Rob while biking on South Mountain back in 2017. As part of a deal, the driver pleaded guilty to negligent homicide and got a 3-year prison sentence.
My whole thing was, let's go to trial. At the end of the day, the state was afraid to go to trial.
John has since started the Rob Dollar Foundation, which promotes safety for cyclists.
Is there a concern if you don't hold drivers accountable, then nothing changes?
Exactly.
The county attorney's office declined my repeated requests to talk about this. In November, Mitchell announced she wouldn't seek felony charges in the Goodyear case, in a statement saying, "We found that the evidence in this case is not sufficient to obtain a felony conviction." Former Maricopa County Assistant District Attorney Jay Rademacher offers insight.
And in order for it to be a crime, you have to be able to have some evidence showing that what he did was reckless.
Reckless, since investigators say the driver in the Goodyear case wasn't impaired or speeding. If prosecutors could prove he was reckless, they had a case. Dodge points out the driver hit a wall before striking the cyclist, and there's no evidence he hit his brakes. He claims his steering wheel locked, but investigators disprove that.
Just because someone didn't slam on the brakes halfway through it or once it happened, doesn't mean that they're doing necessarily something wrong.
Under the law, Rademacher explains prosecutors have to show
a gross deviation from what you and I would do in a situation. And you have to have evidence of that.
What message does this send the cycling community?
Just that you don't matter. If you're a cyclist, you don't matter.
And there's some people that lost a lot more than I did that day. And they're not going to get it back.